I'm in this very privileged position to be able to look at you. And to see you. So you all know how this works, right? There's no prepared talk, right? And whatever comes is arising out of what we're bringing. And I like to bring the element and remind us that we're participating together in this, whatever arises. It's a co-participation. So check in with yourself. What are you experiencing right now? What are you bringing? No right or wrong. And I suggest opening to whatever it is you're experiencing. So whatever it is that you're feeling, see if you can open to that and welcome it. And whatever you're experiencing is probably going to change. And keep changing, right? And then we have this like shared common experience that's also occurring. Maybe you can tap into that. Open to that. So there's you have your own individual experience. And then see if you can feel into the shared space of what's happening here. And tune in. We have that capacity. I'm feeling my belly kind of relax, which is a nice sign for me that there's some ease in the room. And if I didn't feel that, that would be okay too. If it felt tight, because then I would want to honor that and speak to that. Because it's really about remaining true, being honest with ourselves. What is it that you're experiencing? It's the first step. Is noticing, right? The first step in becoming aware is noticing.
I'm really enjoying being in a group with people, with good people.
You want to look around? I invite everybody to look around at one another. That's one of the reasons why originally we had a circle, which is in order to be able to see one another and yeah. We do so much of this alone, you know? So much alone. Even if we're with people, we feel so alone often. Yeah? And it's okay to feel alone, but it's not the whole truth.
Yeah, I think it's been a long time since I've been in a good group like this where we can share our felt experience instead of putting up our fears about protection.
Yeah. Let's see if we can honor that and even invite even further opening. See, this is something we can actually do, is open even more consciously. Welcome yourself as you are right now, just as you are, even if there's some flutterings of anxiousness. And even with this feeling of maybe, I don't know what's going to happen. Because that's part of it, isn't it? Is we want to stay in the known. And one of the ways we stay in the known is by trying to maintain control, which doesn't feel good to the system. So what if we just invited ourselves as a group to let go? The invitation and to really let go. Yeah. Do we give ourselves that? Give ourselves that permission. Give yourself that permission. As much as you want. It's just an invitation. Completely up to you. How much are you willing to let go right now? Just shed. And when you do, see what kind of maybe something might well up. Just if some joy or some well-being kind of starts to creep in and well up, welcome that. It's so interesting how we chase after something that we actually often push away. It's like, I want to feel good, I want to feel relaxed, I want to feel peace, I want to feel joy. And then when some starts to enter a little bit, there's this maybe a little bit like, whoa, I don't know. A little insecurity. I don't know. Give yourself permission to enjoy. Enjoy in the delight of your own being. Just let it peer through. Just let it peer through the cracks. The sidewalk has cracks. And there's some wildflowers growing in between the cracks. Those are my favorite kinds of sidewalks. Those are my favorite kind of people.
It's also just nice. I don't think I've seen you in so long. So it feels good to be in the body instead of like on some other device. It's nice.
She's talking about Facebook device. What device? Yeah. Yeah, I agree, huh?
Yeah.
It's, yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
It's nice to be. I guess this is the good part of having bodies and stuff. We get together once in a while.
Yeah.
That's the
Yay!
the joy part.
Yay!
Yeah.
We. Yeah, it's beautiful. And I love the imperfection of these, of our bodies and of our being. That we don't have to wait for one another to be perfect and arrived and landed and got it together or got it nicely undone. Whatever end of the unwinding.
I think actually this year with a lot of teachers and listening to teachings, I feel like I've been becoming more sloppy, and I really rejoice in that because I can tell I'm letting go of control. Just I feel like things go here, things go there. It's kind of like a letting go.
Yeah.
Sloppy. I call it sloppy because in the kitchen it can mean sloppy, but elsewhere in life it just kind of means whatever. It's letting things not so thinking about it, where I'm going.
Like the best meals are made when the tomato sauce is kind of everywhere, and or you show up barefoot at a satsang. I get it. I get it. It's like giving permission. I get it. It's not, I know what you mean. It's not sloppy. It's like, can I unravel? Can I let myself unravel enough to maybe discover what's really here, who I really am, when I'm not trying to hold it together? You know, can I arrive? Can I show up as I, just as I am, and discover in the midst of that what is really true? Yes, and yes, and yes. It's kind of like, you know, a child really, really ultimately wants to be unconditionally loved by their parent. Right? Do you love me when I'm like this, or when I'm like that, you know, when I make a mess, and when I'm, not just when I'm good and behaving. And maybe we do that. In some way, to come back to balance. To find our own God-given permission to be. Isn't that what we play out sometimes with, like, just imagine that there is a very wise, unconditionally, completely, really, truly, unconditionally loving being. Maybe it would be a mountain, you know, I don't know. Mount Tama. You know, where you can just really, whatever you bring to it, there's no problem. There's no question. It's welcomed. You're welcomed. And like every time you bring yourself to this, let's say, holy mountain, you bring another aspect of yourself. And then you walk away and you go, oh, there's another part that wants to be delivered and surrendered and placed at the foot of this holy being. Until you keep doing it. You keep treading that path over and over again and placing another part of yourself, another piece down. Eventually, what's left? Maybe just sit there, lay down, put your head down on the ground, and go to sleep for a while. Maybe rest. Maybe realize when you walk away that you are this mountain too, and wherever you go, it's with you. And then if you get a little world weary and take on some more conditioning and pain body and Maya, what we call Maya, and go back to the mountain and go, oh, it feels so good to just drop, Put it down. We can do this. We can do this. My friend Ted.
Yeah. Speak. Lately I've been kind of, as I noticed, you said there's no topic, but there was a topic on.
Yes, surrender. I kind of got there.
I really thought about that term a lot because it's a term I really don't use much, mostly because there's a huge charge on surrender, and it's usually around like cowboys and Indians, give it up,
Ooh,
surrender.
interesting.
That's the kind of thing I get on it.
Yeah.
I like Michael's term of softening.
Uh-huh.
What's happening to me lately is I've really been kind of thrown into the space of no self, that kind of a realization. And in that is I realize that is coming from something that deeply inside was invoking that.
Mm.
Or another inviting it, you might say. And then it is really a process more, for me, it feels like, of relaxing, allowing to be done to rather than doing. And really, and it puts me in the space of the space which I would just call it maybe before thought, prior to thought, in that space.
Lovely, yeah.
Mind is not, it can go over there and play with itself. I mean, I'm perfectly happy to not entertain any thoughts, to know nothing, to not even care. I mean, I have no need or desire for understanding. And that's kind of refreshing.
Yeah. It sounds wonderful, doesn't it, everybody? Yeah.
It's not something, it's just something that's been percolating through lately.
Well, it's been percolating and what a beautiful place to be, to land, and and it's honestly, in so many ways, it's a contradiction in terms, but it's hard-earned. It's well-earned, in your case, knowing you as I do.
Yeah.
It's returning to innocence, isn't it?
It is, totally.
Yeah. It's returning to innocence prior to.
Like like an infant.
Yeah, a wise infant.
Delightful space to be in.
Oh yeah, like that's the place of where all becoming happens from.
Yeah.
True becoming. I'm so glad. Yeah. So voila.
That's it. Voila.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, beautiful. Do you all kind of get a sense of what Ted's talking about? Yeah, right now. Right now we can kind of feel into it together. Just the innocence. Innocence of you. Innocence of one another. Yeah, we become so innocent. We are innocent, but it's like when that conditioning starts to be let go of, and released back and placed at the foot of that mountain, or whatever is true for you, however it works for you. Just let go, letting go, right? And we don't have to be perfect, we don't have to have arrived anywhere, and we can be, just like underneath all the doing and becoming and imagination and exhausting, right? There's an innocent one that's just like, I'm here waiting patiently for you to realize that you don't have to do anything special to simply be yourself. Simply be. And just touch that, touch it. Just as you are, touch your innocence. Underneath everything. Just as you are. Underneath feeling uncomfortable, even underneath any kind of thoughts, sensations, feelings, right underneath it all is this innocence. And what's wonderful is that it doesn't need or want you to be any different than what you are. So it's not like a process of denial or pushing away, right? It's what's underneath of it all. So the simplicity is another word, the simplicity of being. Like the wind,
I was thinking about, I was like 3 years old, and the first time I went out in the woods, I saw like a nature spirit or an ET or something. And I don't do that anymore. But it was like, it was just very obvious that I could talk to a being that didn't really have a body.
Mm.
You know, and it was sweet. It was a sweet being.
Yeah.
And I remember exactly what happened. Oh, it's all totally gone. Everything's piled up on top of it.
Yeah.
All in mine.
Yeah.
And I have fear in my belly. You're talking about innocence. And it feels like the innocence has to, but the belly doesn't want the innocence to show up because the innocence is like, there's no control.
No.
That's the problem.
Yeah.
So the problem is that you can't get to it without thinking you can't get your act together anymore.
Right. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, so you have the understanding, right?
Yeah, but I
Yeah.
have to understand, but
That's
it's
a
not
good
like I know when
start.
it's going to happen or not happen.
No,
No.
because exactly, you're right.
Yeah.
It's an unraveling
Yeah,
of what you think it's going to be.
yeah,
It's an unraveling of you,
yeah.
you know? Yeah, and it doesn't take away our functioning. It doesn't take our capacities away.
I think I can't defend myself. Everybody else has gotten better armor than me. They got more money, they got titles, they got better armor, and it's like I'll be even worse off.
Yeah. Well, you'll have something actually.
They'll have something that they want, but they don't know.
You'll have something that, if it's true for you
Yeah,
to have,
yeah.
you'll have yourself. Yeah. Your precious self. It's not accumulated. You know, it's not something that can be accumulated. Right? We all are equal in that regard.
Mm.
We are. We share that in common. It's what unites us.
But what do you mean by self?
Oh.
My precious self.
Sorry, your precious self.
What do you mean? Yeah, what is
Your
it?
precious, the essence of you. The essence. That is, that lives through you, through you as you know yourself. The spirit of you.
It seems to have a lot of different layers and ways of being described and things covering it up and things it
Yeah.
might be and things it probably isn't. But it's not like a unified thing for me.
That's good.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, you don't want to have a unified idea of what self is.
Oh,
The less that you imagine yourself knowing about it, the better. Yeah. Right? The more ephemeral and unknown, mysterious, like when you really tap into the mystery of... Are you done?
yeah.
When you tap into the mystery, you know, tapping into the mystery means being truthful with yourself. Do I really know what I am? Who I am? What this is? Being truthful with yourself, and if there's like, no, I don't, that's a wonderful answer. And then it's like, well, what am I? And it's if you really enter it, it's so mysterious. I don't know, right? I really don't know. And then we're not a solid something when we are entering that kind of mysterious contemplation. I don't know what I am. Just try that on for size, everybody. I don't know what I am. And then there's like maybe, if you really let yourself go deeply with it, there might even be a release, a sigh. Rather than this, it might be like, oh, I don't know what I am, who I am, what is this? I don't know. What is this self? What is this I? And that's a great answer. I don't know. You can go for 30 years as a spiritual seeker and still not know, and come to the place for the first time again. What is this? What am I? Like really innocently. And maybe actually open to the answer that comes to you. And if you're giving yourself a definition, I invite you to look more deeply. If I am spirit is your answer, then look a little more deeply. Do you really know what that is? Tell yourself the truth. Come back to the starting point, ground zero. I don't know what I am. And what if that became a beautiful thing? What if that understanding was finally an answer? And you just rest there and stay there. What if it really is the truth? I don't know what I am. And see if you can open to it with the innocence that we brought in earlier. With innocence. Like a child. That's the kind of innocence that sees wood sprites in the woods. It is. Before we define ourselves. That's the innocence. It's just waiting to just be open to. Does it feel lovely?
Very liberating.
Liberating? Yeah.
I just say that's why, as you know, I lovingly refer myself as a spiritual twerp, because I don't have to be, I don't have to know everything about spirituality or be very good at it. And also, as you know, I come from I'm a musician. I come from a very competitive musical. I've had a career which is all based on performance. So that gets a bit taxing after a while. It's always about performance. You're always on, and you're working hard to get to another level, which is great. But at one point, it's also exhausting. So when I came to spirituality a few years ago, I said, okay, I'm not going that route. That's it for me. I'm gonna come in as a tour, and I'm just gonna try and enjoy myself, and not have to do it perfectly. There's
Yeah.
no perfection, and just have fun. And, you know,
Yeah.
and always be a twerp, you know.
Kind of like the court jester is probably one of the most
Exactly.
wise beings on the
You can
there,
make fun of people and get away with
and
it.
just get away with it. Yeah.
Exactly. So,
Yeah, it's nice.
It's a very liberating notion like that. You don't have to be anybody. You just able to drop.
Yeah. And we can do that now. All of us is lay it down. Lay down all our knowledge. You know. You may hear this, right? We hear it. We read it. Log it in our brains. Oh yeah. It's a childlike wonder, returning to innocence. Spiritual poverty. But it's like if you imagine. I like to bring in. I see things in pictures often. So, imagine that you're at the Heaven's Gate. Okay, not that I'm religious. Okay, so just imagine. Just go play along with me for a moment. And every time you come up to the beautiful being that is there, saying, "Okay, are you ready to pass through yet?" To the undifferentiation of your own being, where you're undefined, right? That's, let's say, what heaven is, where you're really undefined. You're not a self, a personal self anymore. Well, yeah, I think so. And they're like, nah, go back to school a little bit. Empty your pockets, like walk around, empty some pockets, and present yourself again. Okay, now, am I ready? Well, closer. Not to make you wrong, but there's still some baggage there. There's some beliefs and ideas of who you are, and that's what happens, right? Over and over and over again, until you finally just go, guess what? You don't have to be perfect. You don't have to be all the way emptied out. You just have to give up. Okay? So you present yourself again and go, I don't know how to do this. I've been 30 years going around the block of spiritual undoing and perfection and practices. And some of them have been great, I'm sure. But really, in the end, this whatever this piece is, this final piece or final piece or whatever piece is here, I don't know how to do it. I don't know how to surrender. I don't know how to give up. With real truth, not as a get out of jail free card, but really truthfully. I really don't know how to do this, and maybe you're not going to let me through, but that's just the truth. Yeah, help me out here. And you know what's probably going to happen, right? Like, oh God, you are just so sweet. You're so simply yourself. You're simply your perfectly incomplete, imperfect self, and the innocence of you is shining through. Because you're never going to know how to do this. You really won't. You won't. So do you understand what I'm pointing to here? That heaven is right here. Right? It really is. Of welcoming yourself home. And I know that many of you, I can feel it energetically right now, don't know how to do this. And I want to tell you it's okay. Because I'm in the same boat as you are. In the end. This human experience. You know, I will feel suffering if I lose somebody I love, just like you. When my body gets old, it's probably going to be uncomfortable, just like you, right? The will to live is strong. And we all have something to teach one another. And I'm right here just doing this right now. And what I do while we meditate is I open myself up and just ask, what's needed here? What is needed? Not what's wanted, but what's needed. Because we really truly are in service to one another. We really are. Anybody else have something to share, to ask, to say?
Connected or just open to the nothingness, just to like the present, and then it's like I feel it for a second, I get like excited or something and I lose it, or I just immediately like, you know, the stress of the day or things I have to do just like come over me, and I don't know, I get frustrated and then I get like mad, like why can't I just like be super zen right now, like why isn't this working? And I like get like really wound up about it and we do all the opposite things. I don't know, like I'm personally struggling with that right now, but I really am enjoying just being in a group of people that are all kind of, you know, on the same vibe. So I feel like, okay, wait, there's like not a lot of effort in this. It's about the non-effort. So I just want to say that.
Yeah, well, it's beautiful. I mean, what I hear from you is a lot of passion for truth. A lot of passion for life, which to me is what love is. And so what I would maybe point to is that love, see if you can open and tap into the unconditional nature of love in your being, like that which loves just because. Not because of this or that going right, or because you're having a good day or a good moment, or you know what I mean, or something's appearing just right. But see if you can just touch inside on the fact that you just love. And that love is your strength. I can feel it in you. And that's your passion, you know, passionate for love, for the real truth of love. And that love is unconditional within yourself, you see. So like whatever moment you're having, whether it's I want to be more zen moment, or I'm actually in the flow moment, So that love is like, it loves regardless. It's like the not so great moment and the really nice moment. Right? So that's what you want to put your attention on, not on how the moments are going so much. Okay? I mean, that's kind of like our human experience, is we're going to focus on having a good moment. We're just like animals, you know? We're going to find the warm spot in the sun, not too warm, you know, move into the shade, right? I mean, that's just the animal nature. And it's fine, it's perfect. But if you're putting your attention on that, as if that's how you're going to find your liberation, your joy, it's not going to happen. So where you want to put your attention more fully, if you can, and try to remind yourself, is like the substratum of experience, like what lies underneath the coming and going of experience. And that is just while we're talking about the love for you, maybe you can tap into it as it's unconditionally, it loves regardless. It's like, okay, yeah, it's not such a great moment, but there's love. For some reason, there's love here anyway. Oh my goodness. So just see if you can go back further into yourself, like lean back into yourself more fully. Like, is that really all that's going on? Is this little dance of likes and dislikes, you know? There's something deeper here. And that deeper, what is it? It loves anyway. I don't know, I just invite you to look at and see. How does that sound?
That definitely like touched on something.
Okay.
I don't know what exactly, but I can hear what you're saying in a way that I can articulate very concisely in the moment.
That's perfect. So, see, that's perfect because regardless of how you can articulate, it's there. Right? Yeah. Regardless of how you wake up in the morning and feel, it's there. Regardless of what age you are and will become, it's there. This is what's with you for your whole life and always has been. It's been loving you just as you are. Just as you are. And it's just been waiting for you to know that. And for you to get quiet enough, maybe, inside, just long enough to really get it. Ah. Huh. Maybe there's some truth to that. Just as we all are right now, every single person here, just as you are. The love is here. Whatever experience you're having. If you can tap into that just even a little bit right now, you're having a non-dual experience. I just want to give you that little bit of information. You want to know what non-dual is? That's it. Okay? It's like more than one thing going on at once, and there isn't a problem. So while there's a shifting movement of life happening and experience and joy, not joy, whatever it is, right? Feeling good, not good. there is something deeper that you also can connect with that is okay. Let's just call it simple okayness. It just is. It's okay. It's not a great moment maybe, but what's okay within that? What's always okay? And if you can just feel that a little bit, you're in what's called oneness, because two things are going on, and they're it's not a problem. It's like, how you have a lot of those metaphors of the deep, deep ocean, the stillness at the bottom of the ocean that's unmoving, right? And then, so just picture that. That's you. There's a part of you that's still and unmoving. And then simultaneous, don't leave it. We're really creative, we can do this. So simultaneous to feeling this unmoving depth that is so yummy. It's like, oh, I just want to go to sleep a bit. Can I just sleep? Can I just rest there? I can feel the room go boom. Take a little nap. So from there, it's like you have these layers of more activity as you go up towards the surface of the ocean. A little more dancing particles of water and creatures or whatever, A little more, a little more, a little more. More light, more from the sun, because you're getting closer to the surface. Maybe at the bottom, if you're comfortable, it can be really nice and peaceful. A peaceful shade of black. Whoa! Yeah, I knew I might be entering some territory there by bringing up black. But let's just say it's a warm shade of that which doesn't have a lot of light, but it's delicious, It's just peaceful, restful. And then you just it's very still. And you kind of go up and up and up. And we're more comfortable and familiar with what's on top, aren't we? It's like, oh yeah, light. The surface of the water, I can breathe. And I can be really, really full of thoughts. I can be me. I can be me. And it's fine, right? The dancing waves. It is fine when we really get a sense, and I'm touching my belly. It's a sense right here of the groundedness of the depth of your being, of the ocean, the deep, unmoving center. I'm not asking it to be perfect in this moment, or for you to really, really be able to do this, okay? It's just an invitation to get a taste. And if you're feeling a little bit anxious, it's okay. I'm saying that because I can feel it in the room. No blame. I like to honor what's here. But isn't it wild if anybody's feeling that anxiousness? Isn't it wild how we can go from being feeling kind of peaceful to a little bit like, whirr. You know why? It's because it's there. And when it gets invited into the space, maybe there's intelligence there. So let's just see if we can open and welcome. Open and welcome any uncomfortableness and any possible disturbance in the sea. You know, sometimes there's some storms. But you know what? It doesn't touch the bottom of the sea. The bottom, it's like, I'm here. Come back anytime. It doesn't insist, it doesn't push. So if you feel any disturbance, it's okay. And just imagine it's just a little bit of weather. And see if you can simultaneously just kind of lean into and touch a bit the still bottom. It's not asking anything from you. Just touch it a bit. It's like, oh, you're here. There's a part of me that is unmoving. Can you feel that? There's a part of you, I can feel it now again in the room. All right, good. There's a part of you that's unmoving. Yeah. Take a breath. Just honor it. Take a breath even if there's some anxiety or anything in there. It's okay. Two things can happen at once. We can be a bit incomplete and still feel something that is so, so, so at rest. And that's the more than one thing going on. And just touch that. You can feel complete, and still there can be little areas that don't feel complete. Right? Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. This is really important. This is important to you. Because this is how you can live your life. And it grows, this capacity grows the more that you get the hang of it, you know? The more that you get the hang of that there's something inside that is already at peace, already unconditionally loving, already still. What we are all looking for, right? Why we probably are here, right?
Yep.
So just acknowledge that maybe there's, even if it's little, you can feel it. Just acknowledge it in yourself. Yeah? Oh yeah. And all that is still not sure is welcome, is allowed to be. It doesn't take away from that. It doesn't take away. So then you have like two things going on that is one. That which is still incomplete and that which is at rest. That's, basically time and timeless. Right? Time and timeless. Our born nature and the unborn. Yeah? Touching? Us still in process, and that which is already complete and whole. Aren't we all the same in that way? Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's just that is what comes from being born in a body. You can't escape it. No matter how developed any being becomes. Fundamentally, we're in the same boat. Right? You can be in any of the most divine beings you can imagine. And it's the same experience when you're in a body, in the sense that it's time and the timeless coexisting. So whatever glimmer of the timeless, of that which is at rest you have right now, honor it and acknowledge it right now. Because what you give attention to grows. Okay? So this is important. Honor and acknowledge it. This is your own devotion, your inner devotion. You know, that's why they keep a sacred flame going, like in places like Delphi or something, in Greece, a sacred flame going. It's in order to show this honoring. So see if you can create within yourself a space of, like, even if it's just this big, or it might be a whole ocean wide. And we're all different here in our capacity and understanding and where we are, where we find ourselves. But it's always, always a beautiful thing to bow down and honor to this part of yourself that knows, that is at rest, that is still, that knows what love is. However you want to word it. It's like your own little garden. And don't forget, you know how my friend Jaya here, we've both been, we're both really love Neem Karoli Baba. Does anybody know who he is? Neem Karoli Baba is Ram Dass's guru. And he says, love, serve, and remember. So that one of the pillars is remember. So this is the remember. And love. Oh wait, we can throw them all in there and serve. Right? Because you're serving yourself, you're serving the truth, you're serving that which knows. Right? We're good with time? Yay. Okay. Yes.
What I'm noticing as I'm resting in the silence here in this room is the silence feels like it has a texture to it, and I could feel an embrace. It's like as the more I rest in this quiet, there's this embrace of the whole room and everyone in it. So it feels sort of like a beautiful, like loving, nourishing womb of energy. So it's not. So it feels like it has a texture to it. But it's hard to language the texture.
Feel free to try. Because it's like a love poem.
Yeah. Yes, I suppose on some level, any speaking is a love poem to the self. So if the unknown, the language for the unknown is speaking from itself, let me see how it would describe itself.
I am that which you cannot grasp. I am tender, like a tender, glowing flowing, tender, glowing, flowing, embracing, like the sky or the space in the room. I embrace everything that's here. I'm embracing tonight everything that's here as it is.
Oh.
And I have a deep quality of peace. It's very peaceful. And at the same time, I also have a voice and can connect something mysterious connects to everything, like the images as if each of us were like a balloon that had been dropped in the ocean, and the ocean is just receiving all the balloons. Maybe someone can get into my image with me.
Oh, it's delicious. Yeah, isn't it wonderful?
Texture.
A lot of texture. Yeah.
A lot of texture there, the balloons, the water.
Balloons and water, and definitely feeling it.
Another transition.
Beyond words, it's so delicious to play with words. Right?
Yes, one of my favorite poems.
I know.
Yeah, I was trying to feel what was authentic to come forward from this moment, and all I just kept getting were images, images of something I could say that would impress somebody, or something that I could say that would be more in the complaint place. But it was like none of it was feeling. It was all feeling like images, and so it's like, so how does the spirit speak from itself? It's really the question that I finally was coming to. And then that felt like it allowed me to have a deeper, then you said, go deeper and just feel how this feels, to honor this presence or awareness. And that's when all this opened up inside me.
Thanks. Thank you. From all of us. It's like I can feel the belly, like really relaxing for the group. Getting some nourishment, soul food.
Best food there is.
Yeah, it's the best food there is. And to share in it in a shared way. It's with people we don't really know. That's pretty amazing. Pretty amazing. Just to open to it to whatever degree you're feeling like doing so right now. And this is like how we seem to look for a better moment. This is a good moment. This is a good moment. Like acknowledge that and open to it if you want. Like go, hey, maybe this is a moment that is soul food that I go through my day wanting. We've been waiting for, and you give it to yourself, right?
One of the things that I notice is as you're speaking to a quality that resides within each of us, we then claim it as you transmit it. And because I see energy, one of the things that I saw that was incredibly beautiful was when you were speaking about the unconditional love that resides within us and that can meet any experience, whatever is arising in that moment. I could see these rays of light beaming through your heart center. And then all of us were sort of witnessing that on some level and beginning to also emit that. And it created like this beautiful matrix of light in the room that amplified each of our innate flame, if you will, that grew stronger and brighter. It was glorious to witness. So thank you
Thank you,
for that.
Janai. Yeah, thanks for witnessing. Yeah. Yeah, it's funny because at one point I looked at you and I'm like, she's seeing something. She's feeling, seeing. Yeah, I can feel that in the tune in for yourselves, just like what's true for you. What's true for you is always come back to in this moment, not what you know to be true, but what's true for you right now, freshly. What's true for you right now? Yeah.
Yeah, just feeling like a lot of just gratitude for this eternal moment. I don't know, just really trying to take to heart how everything's like insufferable. Like just I am a part of everything and everything is a part of me type idea, and it's, I don't know, it's just been an interesting day. Just like, I feel like, I don't know, just more a part of others. Like, I felt like this, I don't know, this intense energy that was sort of like the nervous energy earlier, and this, I don't know, I'm able to like get like a lot of like energy and like good feelings going, but I don't know, I'm just trying to more express it and share it. Like, I don't know, just share more compassion with people. It just, I don't know, help everything along like the best I can. So, I don't know, maybe something about this moment will help it along.
Absolutely.
So,
You're a blessing. I feel you. I feel your blessing. And I feel a lot. I feel a lot of energy actually on the top of my head while you were talking. A lot of dancing light, beautiful light, right up here. Is that something you experience for yourself?
not right now, but I mean, I was experiencing like a bit of I don't know, like sweatiness, like, I don't know, like energy going on, like, yeah, but
Yeah. Thank you. What is your name?
Brian,
Brian. So lovely to meet you. Wow. Really touched that you're coming out here and sharing of yourself and your beauty. Does anybody have anything to feel inspired to say to Brian, or I don't know?
I just really feel your radiant spirit. That's what's coming through here. So I just had this really big smile as I was listening to it, because I can just feel your beautiful spirit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Thank you.
This isn't, I guess, directly to you, in response to you, Brian, but to everyone.
Yeah, that's fine.
Are you sure?
Thanks.
I had this experience earlier when you were talking about dropping everything. And just letting go over and over again. And I had this feeling of like, it was very somatic. It was like heartbreak, like devastation. And I think what I got in touch with, and I don't know if I felt it in that way before, is the real pain body. You know, like existing in the holding of whatever I'm holding. Trying to be in this body, in this human experience. And it's, I could just feel like the pain of that. And then just this idea of, and I think I was wanting to get in touch with what would that be like to drop everything, to let go. And I'm not sure what the pain is of like, I think it would be extreme freedom. But I don't know that I don't know that yet. I don't know that experience. I think I, in ways, feel like I've been on this path of truth seeking and efforting to live more from that, letting go. But I don't know that yet. And I think, I got in touch with just the real pain of holding it together, or just holding.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel exhausted.
Yeah.
I feel like I feel like I just want to go to sleep.
Yeah. Well, I find it a beautiful thing to touch on that within oneself, because that's a place that's just been waiting to be acknowledged. The depth of pain and depth of tiredness and depth of exhaustion, just to touch it, it already illuminates it. It's like making it conscious. And yeah, you don't know how to do whatever it is that you feel to do, But it's the first step. It's just like awareness sinking down to that degree of its own nature, to a place that's been deeply held in an unconscious place, which means in shadow to itself, right? And the light of awareness of just touching it, that's the spark. That's the spark. And where you go from here is going to be a part of it's going to be a journey in terms of that. You know? As more and more of you learns how to illuminate this part of yourself that's longing for to be seen and felt. But what I'm sensing with what you shared is that exhaustion is just what's been there, you know? The exhaustion, you touched on what's been at the base. Yeah. It's like a real beautiful moment of real honesty. And then some breath can come in there, you know? How does that resonate?
Yeah, I guess this question that I'm sitting with now is it possible? Like, is it possible to really feel the experience of dropping everything and existing in that? Like, is that possible to feel in this human experience?
I think because you have that question, it's arising from an answer that you have deep inside of you that knows. It's your question, you see, to yourself. Because there's something that knows. And so that's a beautiful question to keep alive, with the innocence of not answering it with an incomplete answer. Is it possible? I wonder. And kind of live that question inside of you. Oh, we have 5 more minutes, yeah. Thank you so much. Does that feel complete right now? Or is there more? Excuse me. It's kind of like, sometimes we only see what we see right in front of us. I was thinking of the little lanternfish at the very deepest, darkest ocean, you know? Do you know what they're like? They're so trippy. They have their own little light. Right? And I feel like that's what you're just revealed inside of yourself. And you only see what you see in the moment. But there's enough light there to see. And there's a whole ocean to discover within yourself. have just a few more minutes. Is there any last? Yes, please.
I just want to really thank you for the change in perception. Every time I sit with you, it's really just, it's what I want. I want that change in perception, that way, that change in perceiving.
Thank you. Yeah, we invite it out of one another. That the want and the desire of what we want evokes a response.
I love changing perspective, but I don't think I ever actually claimed it. You know, like consciously acknowledged, oh, that's what I want.
Lovely. I think that's like our curious nature and what keeps us young, you know?
I'm always looking for it. That's what I realize. That's what I'm looking for. I'm always looking for that, but I can forget it, or not see it, or it's vanished, or whatever. Or think, or even find other things, other spiritual things that are great also, but that change in perception is what really turns me on.
Yeah, it's reminding me of, like, you know, the change of perception is what makes the cracks in the sidewalk appear, where the flowers can sprout. Right? It makes a space. It opens up a space inside where the unknown exists, like, oh, finally, I'm not in the known. I can rest a while in the unknown. So lovely to be with you all today and rest in the unknown together. I invite you just to one more time look around the room and just see your neighbor. Let go too. Whatever you might be holding even right now. Thank you so much for coming out this evening, and before you get up, I'm sure that James has some announcements to make, but I just want to thank you, and I look forward to seeing you again. Yeah.
Are there any other events you want to mention?
I have on the table there, I have a little flyer for a month-long online course in August, every Saturday from 10 to noon. So you can be anywhere and do it from a computer. And it's with Michael Rodriguez, if anyone knows him. We're going to be doing a course called Love Liberates. And we mean it. It's not like hokey. So come join us if you feel called to. I really like Michael, and I think we're going to create a nice, coherent space, shared space of inclusion and support. What else? I have online, once a month, drop-in online meetings. You can go to my website, susannemarie.org, and look under events, and you can see every month. And you don't have to sign up. It's all by donation. Okay. I'm sorry. I'm a little. It's like going into another part of my brain. So just bear with me for a minute. I'm looking into the future of my calendar. Anyway, I'm going to be in Europe for a month in September, but then I'll be back. So, and in August I'll be here. And I do one-on-one mentoring if anyone ever feels called to do that. That's basically my announcements. Thank you for asking.
And you're very active on Facebook.
Well, yeah, sometimes. Thank you for that reminder. I like to, I get in these playful modes and then I share. So yeah, feel free to friend me. Yeah, it's fun. I find it kind of fun. It's kind of creative, you know?
So thank you all so much for coming. It's really been a wonderful evening, and above all, thank you so much, Susanne.
Thank you. And thanks for everybody for being so open and sharing of yourselves. Yeah. Yeah. Thank you.
This podcast is made possible by the support of appreciative listeners. If you would also like to support the work of Susanne Marie, there is a donate button on the pages of susannemarie.org. Thank you for listening.